Hi, guys. All right, so let's do a story time. It's a true story. And this is case in point why you need to choose better partners. Because if you don't, you're going to set yourself up for a long term commitment of pure hell. You're going to set yourself up for hell. So, this is a friend of a friend. And she makes me tired. Okay, end of story. Thank you for coming. She apparently there's something in her childhood that caused her to be broken because she makes horrible decisions. Okay. Now, when you go to a job, for example, you get on the job training, or you already have experience, or you've gone to school for it, so you already know what you're dealing with when they hire you. Okay. But when you're having relationships and your childhood was broken, you have no idea how to choose good partners because your childhood didn't exactly point you in the direction of upstanding people. Your parents were probably losers, alcoholism, child abuse, child neglect. Neglect is a form of abuse. Overindulgence, kissing your child's ass all the time, is another abusive tactic that some parents do, and then they don't understand why their children are sick in the head. Because you're going against the grain. You're not going with what's normal to do. So many losers that have kids. So many losers. God knows. Okay. So the kids end up losers too and making stupid ass choices. So, because of whatever happened in her childhood, she makes horrible choices in men. She is turned on by men who have no job. She's turned on by men who live in their parents' basement. They have never worked. They don't have ambition. They don't have schooling. They never went to school, a trade school, college, anything. They live off their parents. And I'm going to tell you, they're grown, chronologically grown. Their parents are twisted too. We're going to go there. The parents are twisted too because they did not push this person out of the nest. Here they are chronologically an adult, and that's the only way they're an adult is chronologically. But yet they act like a baby, and their parents encourage them to be a baby. Live in our basement, and we'll take care of you. You don't need schooling. You don't need training. You don't need to learn a trade. You don't have to do anything. Just be a baby forever, and we'll take good care of you. So there's two people that she's been involved with that are both losers because that gets her hot. Okay. I don't know what about that is so exciting, but for some people, when you don't make good choices and you don't I'm not trying to be mean, but when you don't have common sense and you don't realize that you deserve more, you're going to settle for the bottom of the barrel. You're going to settle for the bottom of the barrel. Okay. The best part of whatever's in the barrel is on the top, and you deliberately go digging into the very bottom, the trenches, which makes no sense. When you don't have common sense, there you go. And you don't have any self-esteem, there you go. So, one of her sons lives with her. He's 17, so he has a choice because he's 17. He gets to decide if he lives with his loser dada that lives in mama and daddy's basement with no job and no skills. The court will permit him, since he's 17, to decide to live with his mother, or to continue to live with his mother, or to live with the loser that lives in the basement. She can't afford an attorney, and the court doesn't have enough sense to say, well, how can you be a parent when you live in your mom and dad's basement? You don't even have your own place to live. The court's not smart enough to figure that you should, at the bare minimum, have your own place to live and a vehicle. That's the bare minimum if you try and you need money to feed this person. I guess the court doesn't understand that concept. Maybe they're relatives of the loser that lives in the basement. I don't know. But so you have that dynamic. She had to get a restraining order against the sperm donor. He's not a father. She had to get a restraining order against him because he threatened to unalive her because she's trying to pin him against the wall, make him be an adult, and make him pay child support, which he has never paid a dime in child support. Because why would you expect him to pay child support? That is what grown-ups do. Excuse me, my bad. Responsible grown-ups. That's what they do. But you're dealing with an adult child, an adult toddler. So I would rather risk going to jail by unaliving you than be forced against the wall and do a grown-up thing, which is child support. If you grown enough to pull your damn pants down and your underwear's down, you grown like Montel Williams said, if you could come out of your pants, you could come out of your wallet. That's coming from a man. Exactly. There's another guy that she was involved with long term, and he's also a dweller in his parents' basement, because again, this is her lack of judgment overriding her common sense. Well, I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't think she has any common sense at all. She doesn't have any clue how to look out for her own best interest. You have no business. It's too late now. The kids are here. They're adults, I think, except for one. It's too late now. They're already here. But you don't lay down with people. Just because somebody can do you, that doesn't mean that they qualify to be a parent. I don't care what gets you hot. I don't care if a meth head gets you hot. The minute you find out somebody's a meth head, you're like, oh my God, you just sent a chill down my spine. Woo! That person is not qualified to be a parent because they're a drug head. They can't even take care of themselves. How the hell are they going to take care of a child? So somebody should be qualified before you let them do you and get you pregnant. And reverse too. A guy, if he's attracted to a broken ass person, this person is broken. They're not qualified to be a mom to your child either, because you got to have certain qualifications in order to be a parent. That's how it should go. Now, this fool, that's the father of, sperm donor of her son, both of his brothers are millionaires. They don't mind being a grown up and they don't mind hustling their butt off to make money. He is a grown toddler and the parents encourage the hell out of that, which is really sad because they're sick too. The whole family, and this is where narcissism and sociopathy, did I say that right? Antisocial behaviors and sociopathy, whatever the fuck it's called. Sometimes my brain just goes, I'm not doing it today. Quit laughing, it's not funny. But these people have to be qualified. It's like, I don't know if this fool is the youngest one, so the parents there's something psychological that goes twisted in parents who have the youngest child. They roll out the red carpet for that child and they kiss their everlasting ass. And I don't know why, because you're creating a beast when you do that. And I don't mean in a positive way, like they're a beast on the job and they got promoted a week in. I'm not talking about that kind of beast. I'm talking about off beast. You get to a point where, now she's educated book-wise. She ain't got no sense, but she's educated book-wise. She's got 3 degrees. Raised all her kids by herself, because when you open up your legs for losers, or you get losers pregnant, yes, you're going to take on the brunt of the responsibility because you're doing it with a child. This individual is a child. Anybody can take their clothes off. That does not make you an adult. And it damn sure don't make you a responsible adult. So, I forgot to take my allergy meds. I got to put this medicine on my neck because it's driving me crazy. It just don't make any sense that you would lay down with somebody and make children with somebody who's a 1000% loser. I can't. I can't wrap my brain around that whatsoever. I can't. I can't. I just can't. It's so freaking illogical. The person I was friends with for 10 years, we had never met in person. We talked out just about every night. He's the funniest person I know. And we were fake engaged, meaning he said, I'm going to get you this ring. And I said, is it an engagement ring? And I was joking. He goes, well, what if it was? Watch what you say. Somebody may call you bluff. And then you're going to be going. And that's how we supposedly got engaged. He went and got the ring. He was never, I didn't know this. He was never going to get on a plane to visit me. He was never going to have a future with me because he's still hanging on his mom's tit. He's another one that lives in his parents' basement. I thought he was going to eventually become an adult and eventually get his own place, like he supposedly had his own place before, supposedly, which is really doubtful because you're still on your mom's tit. So I can't really see how she would allow you to be an adult. Because some parents are just so twisted, they can't let you grow up. They're going against the grain. Remember we talked about that? When you go against the grain, you're screwing your kid up. Good job, parents. Good job. When I realized that he was jacking around and not serious, I decided to be done with him. 10-year friendship down the drain. So-called engagement down the drain. He's got family that lives here in the U.S. He could have lived with them until he got his footing in America, got a job here and whatever. But he can't, when he's still suckling his mom's boob, he cannot do that. Now she's married, but the son is also her husband. So she's got two husbands. The sperm donor, the so-called father, all he does is sit on his ass and watch hockey all the time. They're Canadian. He just sits on his ass and watches hockey. That's what he does as a responsible adult. He sits on his behind and watches hockey. And I'm going to tell you where this all stems from. I believe, I didn't, when you're out of the situation, you could see a whole lot more. Her dad left her, the mother. Her dad left her when she was young. And she got married and she had kids of her own and all this other. The two daughters cannot be manipulated because they don't mind being grown. They don't want to live in your basement. They want their own job and they want to pay their own bills like normal adults do. The youngest, parents love to destroy the youngest kid under the guise of taking extra care of them. They end up destroying that kid because they go against the goddamn grain and they will not allow them to grow up, will not allow them to grow up. So the only one who would be easy to manipulate is the baby, which is the one that I was friends with for 10 years. When I realized that he was never going to meet me in person, and he blamed it on COVID, which was way after the fact. COVID ain't have jack shit to do with it. I think the reason his mother, attached herself to him so hard is because she knew from watching her father leave his wife and leave the kids and flip the bird to every single last one of y'all. She realized that any man can leave you. Yes, I'm married, but my husband could up and leave me tomorrow. My dad taught me that. So who can I hook my talons into that won't desert me? My daughters are too headstrong and they got their own life, so I can't glue myself to either one of them. Ooh. I will surgically glue myself to my youngest son. So ever since he was a child, she has made him her husband. She's glued herself to him. She has given him on-the-job training since he was a child. Parental enmeshment like a motherfucker. Okay? Ever since he was little, he was taking care of his mother. She had physical illnesses and this and that, and he took care of her. And he took care of her, and he took care of her, which is abuse. Because you're not allowing this child to be a child. You're allowing them to be an adult in a child's body and to replace your husband. Why did you get married if you're going to marry your son? That don't make no sense. So I think that's where that twisted behavior comes from. She became married to her son because she knows that your husband, your father, can walk away from you any day of the week. I have to choose someone in the family that even if my husband left me today, I've got somebody else that can be a pseudo husband, which is her youngest son. As a result, he has arrested development. He doesn't have any common sense. He doesn't know how to get his own driver's license and get a vehicle. He doesn't have any desire to do that. He rides the bus every goddamn where. He will not have his own place because he can't leave his wife, his mother, his wife. He can't leave her. He can't do that. Okay? He was engaged to this other girl, and she realized that he was married to his mother, and she realized that she can't squeeze in between the two of them. So she's going to go ahead and let y'all do your thing and let y'all sleep in the same bed, all three of you, your mom, your dad, and you, right in the middle. And she was out of there. She was kissing some other guy when they were going to be engaged. She was kissing this other guy down the street right in front of his house. I wouldn't suggest you break up that way because that's kind of rude. Just tell the person, you're married to your mother. I can't squeeze in between y'all. Good luck to both of y'all. I'll go to the wedding. When y'all make it official, I'll go to the wedding. That's what she should have done. So, in the case of the first individual who chooses losers, because that gets her hot, most backwards thing, one of the most backwards things I've ever seen in my life. The whole family ends up sick. Both parents are determined to ruin this child. We've got two children who are successful financially. They making money by the pound. We need to attach ourselves to one of our kids because we got problems up here. So we're going to attach ourselves to the youngest one. I guess he's the youngest because that's typical. We're going to attach ourselves to him and not allow him to grow up. And he can marry whoever because the marriage isn't going to last because he's married to his mom and dad. But we'll let him go through the motions. Who doesn't like wedding cake? But we know they're not going to stay together because his loyalty is always going to be to mom and dad. When they die and you are straight on your ass, that's what you get. That's what you get. Now you got to sink or swim on your own, which you should have did a long time ago. They're not going to live forever. I hate to tell you, but they're not going to live forever. And unless they have money by the pound, when they die, guess who? And they're going to give you the house because God knows you can't even wipe your nose without their help. Hopefully, or not, actually, I would hope that when the parents die, there's nobody else in the family to put diapers on his ass. And if they give you the house, which they probably will because you're married to your mother, when your wife gives you the house, you got to pay property tax on it because your dumb ass, they're dead. When they die, you're fucked. I don't feel sorry for people who are lurching off of other people, mooching off of other people, because when they eventually die, you're screwed. You're completely hosed. And you deserve to be hosed. Welcome to the world of this is what you're supposed to do when you were an adult. Now you got to stand on your own goddamn 2 feet. Good for you. It's a rude awakening, isn't it? So the whole family knows that he's a loser. And because they're all mentally ill, parents included, I would tell them to their face that they're ill. I don't give a shit. They have convinced their loser son that he is the best thing since sliced bread. And they taught him how to manipulate people. They taught him how to be dysfunctional. They taught him to be an forever child. Hopefully he's potty trained, even though he's supposedly an adult. I hope he's, I would hope they at least let him use the potty on his own. The whole family goes against this woman that I'm talking about who's turned on by losers. We'll call her Amy. They have convinced themselves that Amy is the worst person in the world, which is narcissistic. Narcissists like to project. So they know that they are a loser. They know that they are jacked up in the head. They know that they don't have any social skills. They know that they're extremely immature. They know that they are sick, 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 demented, twisted. So what do? Point fingers at other people so they don't have to face the shame. So all of them are convinced that Amy is the worst thing in the world. Now, mind you, Amy is the only adult. She's the only grown up. She went to college. She had kids, but she still kept going to college. She's got 3 degrees. She's the only adult in the whole bunch. But they talk about her like a dog. The parents, the loser psychotic parents, and the dude who is the forever toddler. And they have convinced her kids, your mom's a loser. Your mom is this, your mom is that, your mom is this, your mom is that. When in reality, it's the other way around. I'm smart. I know what projection looks like. Okay? When you're smart and you know the games they play, you're a big threat to them. And I know the games they play because I grew up with crazy ass people. Projection don't work with me. Gaslighting is not going to work with me. Nice try. So I don't think she'll ever break her pattern of being with crazy ass people. She's always going to be drawn to people who are shit. I'm just going to keep it real with you. People that have nothing going on with themselves, that just turns her the hell on. Wow. So, and she used a guy. My friend is so convinced that she's the nicest person in the world. And I said, you got to look at how this person treats other people. I don't care how personable somebody is. If they use people and dump them at will, because there's another guy that he's a loser, so makes her hot. He's a singer in a band. That's the only thing he does. He don't have a job. He don't have a skill other than the weekend playing in a band, okay? Singing in a band, which turns her on like crazy. Every summer, she would get with him and then break up with him when he's no longer performing at the Lake of the Ozarks. She would dump him over and over and over, year after year after year after year. Get back together. You're not singing anymore. I'm out. Get back together when they start performing again. Season ends. I'm out. Kept breaking up and getting back with him. And he's stupid too because he allows it. Okay. Now, that guy that she's addicted to is also a loser because that's her pattern. He is another narcissist. He's another cold-blooded ice cube, and that makes her so wet. The Missouri River is dry in comparison. I'm keeping it real with you. Oh my God, you got nothing going on with yourself? God, that sends a chill down my spine. Are you fucking serious? You know what? If you're that far gone, it makes me wonder if you need to be in a psych ward in a padded cell because, my God, your decision-making skills are non-existent. Non-existent. So she was seeing a guy who has a lot of money. That didn't work for her. That didn't work for her because she prefers people who have nothing to offer except a stiffy. Okay. So, yeah, she was involved with him. Yeah, she fooled around with him and they may have whatever they did. But he was self-sufficient. He can make his own money and he had plenty of it. She's flighty and she cannot be held responsible for her own, actions. So she'll make plans, she'll make plans and then she'll say at the last minute, well, I can't because this reason and that reason. So I told my friend, I said, if I were you, I would not make plans around with her because she is flighty and unreliable. So what you do is you make plans around her. You and the rest of your group, you make plans around her and then you let her know this is what we're doing. If you show up, cool. And if you don't, cool. That's what you do. Don't be stupid. Don't allow her to make plans because she is not reliable. An indicator of someone's future behavior is past behavior. There's a caveat to that. There's a caveat to that. The caveat is some people have made mistakes in the past. They learned from them and they're a mature adult now and they realize that I have to be responsible for my own actions. I have to be responsible for how I treat other people. That requires a certain level of maturity, okay? Flighty as hell, and he got tired of playing games with her, the guy with a lot of money. So he married somebody else. You don't think the story ends there, do you? Because you would be wrong. He's basically still a newlywed with this other person. He's been married to her for 2 years. How about he's still sniffing up this Amy's ass? How about he's driving long distance to drive in her driveway without her permission to turn around and drive away to see if there's another man's vehicle in her driveway? This man is married. She's got power over men by playing games with them, flirting, backing off, flirting, backing off, flirting, backing off, making little sexual comments to get you all hot and bothered, and then she starts acting coy. Her behavior makes men go stupid in the head. The warm, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold makes men go, the fuck is wrong with every one of y'all? What is that? So, the guy who's married that's still stuck up her ass, okay, he cannot leave her alone. Can't, even though he's married. Better be glad I don't know your wife because I would tell her. My friend, since he's so up her butt too, I said, you saw how she treated the other guys. You saw how she was hot and cold with them, right? Well, yeah, but she's a nice person. How is she a nice person when she kept using the singer boy while the season is hot and then dropping him when he's not singing anymore and doing that year after year after year after year? Does that define a good person to you? Because if that's what you consider a good person, you need to reevaluate what you consider a good person because you're way off. Using someone doesn't make you a good person. It makes you a user and a manipulator because you're as sugary sweet as long as you're getting what you want. That's not a nice person. What's wrong with you? That's what I said to him. I said, what's wrong with you? And another person said she saw the whole thing go down with her Flighty and her obsession with this dude and oh my God. And she told my friend, because my friend's so into her, she said, you're going to be the next Bob. Bob's the one with a lot of money. That's not his name. You're going to be the next Bob. Because she played with him too. Played with him enough that he said, okay, that's it, I'm out. Married somebody else, and he's still obsessed with her. Because that coy, come close, get away, come close, go away, for some reason makes some men go stupid in the head. Stupider than they normally act. You want to be played with too? You want to get stomped on too? You want her to put high heels right on your heart? And not only squish down, but then twist her foot so that she can tear your heart to shreds. Why would you want to sign up for that? Past behavior is indicative of future behavior. And if I see somebody playing games with other people, you could bet your ass I'm not going to sign up for that. Because that's stupid. You're dumb. If you do that, you're dumb. Just saying. You see with your own eyes that this person could care less about the people they play. They're kind of like a juggler. Juggle, like they got these plates in their hand. They juggle these people repeatedly. And then when they get tired, they fling them to the side. Then they start juggling plates with this hand. Then they fling those plates and they just do it over and over again. And you're like, well, shit, I want to be one of those plates. How slow in the head do you have to be to want to sign up for that shit? And that's going to bring me to my next and final point, which is My friend is stuck on her because she's his type. Your type can get you in a lot of trouble because you're not thinking with the right head. Especially if you're a man, you're not thinking with the right head, okay? You see a petite little blonde and you're like, oh my freaking God. You need a sedative and a psyche valve because you can't possibly think that the hurt that she's done to other people, you want to sign up for that too. Because she's your goddamn type, you better let go of that shit. Okay? You gotta let go of that. Your type has never worked for you. When I say shit like that, there's a reason. I may not tell you the story time at the time, but there's a freaking reason why your type is not working. You better look at something besides type. You got to start using your brain, not your hormones, not the irrational part of your brain, but you got to start using your actual brain. If somebody comes along who isn't your type, you need to put that in the back of your head and you need to get to know this person. This person might be your soulmate, but because they didn't come in the package that you thought they'd come in, you don't want nothing to do with it. Well, go ahead, kick yourself in the face if that's what you want to do. It's your face. You could kick it. When do you start using your brain instead of your emotions and your hormones? When do you start using your brain? Life isn't as long as you think it is. Let me say that again. Life isn't as long as you think it is. And you're going to waste a lot of time with a lot of losers. Let go of your type because that's not working for you. That's not working for you. You got to start using common sense. And if a person doesn't have any ambition and they've never had a job, they have zero job experience, and they want to live up their parents' ass for the rest of their parents' life, that should be your first sign to run in the opposite direction. Especially women, because do you want another child or do you want a partner? Because if you choose an adult toddler, they cannot be an adult because they are an adult toddler. They're never going to protect you. They're never going to look out for you financially. They're never going to be in your corner. They're never going to be supportive because children don't normally do that. Children are not miniature adults. They're children. But some so-called adults are toddlers. So before you go in there with your cape on and you decide that you're going to save this person, you better think twice. Life is not as long as you think it is. If you want to spend the rest of your life until you take your last breath being a gerbil on a wheel, pedaling faster and faster and faster and going nowhere, that's your choice. Or you could choose people of quality that you don't have to put diapers on their ass, breastfeed them and then burp them afterwards. Come on, give me a good burp. Give me a good burp. There we go, good baby. Is that what you want your partner to be? People better wake up. I'm just saying. Like I said, you could sit back and watch all the dumb mistakes that people make. Not only dumb mistakes, but repeatedly back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Sometimes with the same damn people, the same damn games. Because they don't learn. They're beyond being taught. Look here, I ain't got time for that shit. Okay? I don't have time for that. I don't. You either act like you got some damn sense right out the gate or forget about it. I'm not putting diapers on a grown person's ass. I'm not going to breastfeed you, and I'm not going to burp you, and I'm not going to buy you cute little outfits so that everybody could go, oh my God, your son is so cute. Oh, he's 2 years old, but he's actually 40. Oh. He's 40 chronologically, but he's a 2-year-old. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, have a good day. I'm out. People are going to get freaked out by that. They're going to be like, what the hell are you doing? Which is a good question you should ask yourself. What the hell am I doing? Watch People TV and notice what you do not want to sign up for. Start using some sense. Not your hormones. Use that. Anyway, y'all take care. Much love. Bye.